Hey everyone, I'm Sid from the product marketing team at Statsig, and today we have with us in our Bellevue headquarters our customers from HelloFresh.
My name is Patrick. I'm leading the engineering team responsible for experimentation at HelloFresh.
I'm Kees. I'm leading the product team at HelloFresh on the experimentation topic.
And I'm Aurora, part of the product team, senior product manager for the experimentation team.
Nice. So your teams are running hundreds of experiments at HelloFresh. So can you tell us how do you ensure a high bar for the quality of experiments and the trustworthiness of experiments?
I think there's many things we could mention here. I will pick one, which is being extremely close to your customers as an experimentation platform provider. Understanding the challenges that your customers face and also being there to help them is key to actually ensure that the setup of experiments, the way they run them, the way they analyze them, and also how they make decisions on them is in line with what you consider best practices and the right way to do experimentation. Which is one of the reasons why we introduced the customer success function into our HelloFresh experimentation team. So people across the organization running experiments and running into issues in running experiments can just reach out to us and ask for support, which helps us to understand the challenges better and helps them to run better and higher quality experiments.
Another thing we do is actually defining quality and trustworthiness in a certain extent. What is a good quality experiment? Try to quantify quality in a way that we are currently starting scoring certain experiments on components like are you violating power analysis, sample sizes, runtimes, these kind of things. Are you having a good hypothesis? Do you have set up the right metrics? Are you not violating your overall evaluation criteria with eventually what you ship? So we are currently working on an effective way of doing this at scale. Also a conversation with teams and experiment owners and leaders where many or some of their experiments score quite low already on the elements that we have.
In addition to all of that, we also have something called the bar raiser program, right? So with that, what we want is to increase the quality of experiments through peer reviews, right? So we have a set of what we understand that there are people that already have a good knowledge on experimentation and they would evaluate and assess the quality of others' people experiments. And that will help them not only raise the bar, raise the quality of those experiments, and with time that will raise the quality of all the experiments across the organization. But yeah, this is a program we have had already for a couple of quarters and we continue to evolve.
What would be one advice or lesson learned from doing all of this?
I think the one that I would pick is that it's incredibly important to connect experimentation into the product development lifecycle. Experimentation itself needs to become a vital part as anything else from writing PRDs, from doing product discovery, is in a lot of companies nowadays. But experimentation basically gives you the tooling that allows you to actually quantify the impact and verify if your assumptions in the beginning were right. What I've seen in a lot of companies is that usually you have a yearly planning cycle where people come up with crazy business cases with crazy numbers, but nobody actually checks if the promised value has ever been delivered. And experimentation is the perfect tool for doing that. And thus, working together with your product leadership team and the entire product organization in your company to make that a required part of the product development lifecycle is critically important and a massive driver for us.
I think we have many parts of the businesses that also want to validate the impact on the business of their initiatives, such as our marketing organization. What really helps there is mostly people are really biased to use data to exactly prove how much that they were right. And actually we want to turn that around, that people really aim to prove that they are wrong. Because that happens actually 80% kind of like in the cases if we look at the industry success rates, and ours is not necessarily better. So that is something I think that really helps to give people insights that they might be wrong 8 out of the 10 times. And the question is, what tools can give insights for which 80% that is and for which 20% you want to keep investing and learning. So this is really about learning and giving the tools to do that. So if there are 10 people in the room, and like 9 of them think that we should just do this is the most important thing, right? And then wrap that thing up in an experiment, like often you see that many of those people were actually wrong.
Basically, in order to reach that point, one of the most important things and learnings that we have is that you need leadership buy-in, right? You need the support, you need the space and the willingness of the high-level stakeholders and from different departments and team to really say, okay, yes, let's do this, let's go for this, let's work on this together. And you see that at HelloFresh with our DNA, right? Like one of our core points of our DNA is being data-driven. And a way for us to be data-driven is run those experiments, get those learnings, right? And be able to iterate as part of our product development process.
Finally, what do you love most about experimentation, aside from telling people why they're wrong?
That's probably the biggest point. But besides that, I think the point that I like is that solving experimentation from a platform perspective is inherently cross-functional. Right, so if I look at the structure of our experimentation team at HelloFresh, it ranges from data science, data engineering, backend engineering, front end, literally all functions you can think about need to work closely together to actually solve experimentation as a problem. Right, and besides that, you of course work with product analytics, you work with product management, engineering leadership. So basically you have a topic that is as broad as it can be to be solved correctly, and that is something that excites me.
Yeah, I think simply coming down to the learnings it generates. Right? So really understand what works and doesn't work, what brings customer value and what not. I think having experimentation, if people adopt it right, it's like proof that people really try to validate their assumptions. And that is very strong in moving your product further with impact. Because it's not about shipping things necessarily, but it's shipping things with impact. And understand what brings impact and then iterate on that, right? That I think really excites to give people a tool on that and to see that happening and progressing over time. And yeah, that's really nice to be part of experimentation team, that you see teams progressing, and also with these hundreds of experiments, you see actually how all parts of the whole company and all parts of our total product portfolio grows. And that I think is really what excites me.
One of the things that I like a lot about this that is cross-domain, right? Like you get to interact with a lot of different problem statements that have the commonality that they need experimentation to learn. At the same time, one of the other things that I love about experimentation is that it's very nerdy. And I like that. So yes, put an experiment in your life.
Well, there you have it. It's been awesome having the HelloFresh team join us from Germany and the Netherlands over the past few days to partner with us and co-create awesome things in our platform. Thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.
Thanks a lot for having us.
Thanks a
Goodbye,
lot.
everybody. Thank you.